or because they have trust issues, conditioning issues, people being programmed to think a certain way, or the media exposes certain things and clouds your judgment. I always personally believe I always go by myself, right? If I'm an honest, transparent individual, then I believe there's loads of other people out there like that. So just because there's a few bad apples, and you got a few bad apples all over the world, okay? So I generally find people that I can work with. So if an opportunity comes on my radar, either an entrepreneur in Africa somewhere reaches out to me and says, I've got this idea, I've got this opportunity, I'll just go by body language, what the numbers are saying to me, what the business model is saying itself. Does it make sense? Do my own personal due diligence, and I'll put money to work. And that's it.
Hello.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another wonderful episode of the Diaspora Entrepreneurs Podcast. Today, we are talking money, we are talking finance, we are talking investments, we are talking the whole 9 yards. It's about money never sleeps. And we have the right man with us today, who is Taj Sadiku, Taj for short. So he's the founder of powerofsmartmoney.com. Taj, how's it going?
I'm very good, sir. I'm very good,
Yeah.
sir.
Good. Can you just tell us a little bit about yourself?
So, like you missed something out though. You should have added on billionaire Taj.
Oh yeah, we'll be talking about billionaires today, anyways.
Yeah. So I'm going by the AKA billionaire Taj. So yeah, I'm in the building. Thanks for the invite. Actually, loving the presence and loving the fact that we're gonna talk about money. I like to say smart money, smart minds, smart moves. So, like I say, name's Taj. Most people call me Taj anyway, or Tajuddin if you want to go with the full name. And I am the founder of PSM, Power Smart Money. PSM actually started, in terms of officially, I say about two and a half years when I incorporated the business.
Yep.
And brought it to the masses. It actually started from, say, something to do with the financial markets, but it sort of morphed into different things. So I do PSM. There's something else I also work on called GroExpo. GroExpo is short for Grow Exponentially. That's another website that I run. I have a team of people that work with me, taking people from the Black community along with us to the beautiful place in terms of wealth creation. Yeah, so
Good.
I don't know, before I over talk myself, I let you. Yeah, so that's a little bit about me.
Yeah. No, as the conversation goes, as we keep vibing, more of you is gonna come out. So I'm not too worried about that. It's just the actual value to this conversation. That is what the listeners that's what we like to give to the listeners anyways. Yeah, so how did this fire start, this entrepreneurial fire? How did it start?
Whoa. Somebody has actually asked me that question. I never quite know where exactly the hunger came from. Maybe it's just, so I actually went to boarding school. I wasn't talking money in secondary school like that, you know what I mean? But it came to my attention. I was in Nigeria in December, January, and my business partner in Nigeria actually said to me that he goes, Taj, he says, do you know when we finished secondary school, we were going to go into the business of selling tankers of kerosene? I'm like, really? He said, yeah, you were going to provide the capital. I had the connect, and we were going to then start selling kerosene all across Lagos. And I was like, I don't have a recollection. I don't remember. He said, yeah, you were going to provide the money. But then I obviously eloped and I disappeared and came over to the UK. So that memory kind of got missed. But when he told me the story, I was like, wow, so maybe from a younger age, I'd already started to catch that entrepreneurial bug. Fast forward to maybe about 10, 15 years ago, this same individual as well came over to the UK, stopped by, told me about an opportunity in like import and export. Broke it down. I looked at the numbers. I thought it was something that was interesting, felt we could make a little bit of money, and we dabbled into it. But even pre that, and I think maybe it's always been in me. So I remember I was coming out of university one day, and a lovely guy by the name of Gil Mara, he's a Jewish individual. And if anybody's very young, like I like to say, I am forever young. The guy stopped me coming out of university, and he said to me, oh, he saw me on my mobile phone. That back then they were using those Motorola, I think it was Motorola or Nokia, those big chunky bricks.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah, and he stopped me and said, oh, are you interested in making some money? Because you're using. Then I think he asked, was I using one-to-one? Then I said yes. He said, oh, you can make some cheaper phone calls, and if you can help other people to sign up, you can also make some money that way. And I was like, really? Okay, sign me up. So I think going back 10, 15, 20 years, I think it's always been in me, and I've just kind of like slowly grown into it and finding a niche that I feel like my calling, where my calling
Mm-hmm.
actually is.
Mm-hmm.
So anything business, totally love it.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny how people kind of like spark our fire back, because you were speaking about this guy that back from the boarding. I went to boarding school as well.
Oh, did you?
So
Wow.
yeah, I went to
A,
boarding
a
school
lot of
as well.
a lot of us
So,
Nigeria. Well, I don't know what it is that era where they send
yeah,
everybody to boarding school. Yeah.
went to boarding school as well. So that independent spirit.
Yes.
Wherever we
Yes.
go, we kind of like find our way. Find
Indeed.
our feet. Yeah. How some people like come into your life and you just like they kind of bring back these, maybe something that you've forgotten. They just like remind you, and boom, you're back alive and like, yeah, let's go. Yeah.
Indeed.
You started PSM. So if there is smart money, what
Mm.
is the opposite? Is it dumb money or what is it called?
Oh, no, Rob, you're about to start me off. You're about to start me off, right? Because you say smart money and then you got dumb money. Yeah, you got dumb. You might as
Yeah.
well you got dumb money. But I think you can have dumb money. You could. It depends on how you want to see dumb money, right? You can have
Yeah.
dumb smart money because it's just
Mm-hmm.
money where the smart money goes to work and it starts to generate so much money that it just becomes dumb money. It's just too much money. But
Yeah.
obviously, the negative spin will be just that dumb money when people put money to work, but they invest in dumb things. Dumb money would be people actually invested in some dumb things.
Yeah.
Like people spend their time or spend their money on buying liabilities or things
Mm-hmm.
that don't necessarily. Nobody's saying don't floss, don't boss out and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Have a good time. If you've worked hard, sure, banker, you can floss out. Take your
Mm-hmm.
boys out, take your girls out, and have fun. But at the same time, you do have dumb money where it's not working for you, and you're just spending money on things that are not really necessarily important. But smart money, smart money, smart minds, smart moves. So it's I think that ties into the power of smart money, and even PSM itself. And I'm probably going off on tangents now, but that's just the way I normally fire. So I
Yeah.
hope that's
Yeah. Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead.
I know PSM Power Smart Money actually started out being the power of fast money. And I remember I brought an opportunity, and I was introducing the opportunity to people within the network. And some lovely lady, I can't remember her name now, said to me when I sent her the opportunity, she goes to me, "Oh, fast money. I don't do fast money because it ends up being a scam." Or she said something a little bit negative in the sense of she was thinking, "Oh, I was saying fast money from a standpoint of, oh, it, something negative or
Mm-hmm.
like a scam type of thing." And I was like, oh my God, people might start thinking when I say fast money, I'm talking like investments where you can get a return on your money within 6 to 12 months. Sometimes it could be 2, 3 years. But she took it as, oh, it didn't sound too good and it might be
Yeah.
something which wasn't palatable. And then I kind of pivoted from fast money. I said, maybe smart money might be better. And then
Mm-hmm.
Power Smart Man. That's kind of like how Power Smart Money has kind of stuck over the last two,
Yeah.
3 years. And I'm running with that. So, and it makes a lot more sense. It's about time our people, start getting smarter with the money, doing some more smart
Yeah.
things and big, and the opportunities are out there. So,
Yeah. On your when I was just doing some research about you, I saw something
mm,
very interesting that you were like connecting investors to businesses in Africa and the UK. And
yeah.
within the context of what we are speaking about today, which is the next set of billionaires that are coming from Africa,
Yeah.
yeah, just throw some more
Um,
light on that. What is you're
sure.
connecting investors to? Yeah.
So, like I said, this whole entrepreneurial journey has been different. I'm sort of trying to find my calling. God, I forget the name of the guy, but yes, going back to when I first started to do that import export business in Nigeria, I've always had this thing of taking people along with me. And where I'm sort of positioning myself personally and from a business standpoint is to help others also become successful. And how do you become successful? If you look at all the very successful people out there, millionaires, billionaires, they've all done things where they've had multiple sources of income.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you have multiple sources of income? You're either building a business personally, you're investing in someone else's business, and you're letting money work for you. So I kind of then figured that, okay, as I don't want to be at the top by myself, why not find opportunities and introduce it to other people who might also be willing to invest and take a little bit of a business risk and generate some profits. So everything I've sort of done over the last, say, 5-10 years has also always sort of been around trying to bring more people along, introduce opportunities. We've done, what did we do now? I think about 3 years ago now, or 4 years, I think about 3.5 years ago. We raised some investments for a agriculture project in Nigeria, which was, we started off in potatoes, then we went into maize. So we ran that. That was a successful run. Then we went into, then we had a doctor in the UK who was, he had an idea to do with manufacturing, or there was basically crushing cow bones. It's a product that's used to make gelatin. So we helped them to raise some investments over here, and through some of the people within the network, and that also went according to plan, and we were able to help some people make some money. And then so I just like the whole idea of bringing opportunities to people so being capitalized. I'm very, very big on Africa relative to PSM and, say, GroExpo. I think we're very big in terms of looking towards Africa from a standpoint of, there's a lot of wealth that can be created, and you can see. I mean, if you got the Chinese moving into Africa, you got even more Caucasians or Europeans going into Africa.
Yeah.
They're not going there to go and sit down and just have holidays. A lot of them are going in there and setting up shop.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like, it's important. And going by, diaspora entrepreneur podcast, it's kind of like the right platform to be talking about. We can't sit back here in the diaspora.
We can't sit back here at all.
You know what I mean? We have to be making moves and not allow the other people who are going to go in there and exploit all the opportunities, get there and lay stake to claim the fortune, so to speak, that we can be claiming, and creating a situation where future generations can benefit, as opposed to us all being over here thinking.
I'll tell you. I'll see, for what you just said when you mentioned the Chinese. Now I'll tell you a story. I'm from the Delta in Nigeria. So we had, I was in Nigeria last summer. So we had this family kind of relative function that we had to like go into this, into a hometown, into a deep down in the country. The closest airport to that town is about 3 hours. So the closest
Don't tell
airport.
me you had to walk all the way from the town to the airport.
No. We drove down. So the closest airport is like 3 hours. Down deep into one of the villages, we saw some Chinese guys coming out.
Really?
I tell you, boy, it's not safari.
Wow.
It's not safari.
Wow. I mean, that is so crazy.
You see them with their Hiluxes and those kind of Chinese vehicles, and
yeah.
So when you see something like that, you know that, boy, we can't be sitting down here and be like boxed up in our bubbles and be thinking that we are just there.
We're missing a trick for sure. We're definitely missing a trick. And there's a book. I'll try to see if I can find the name of the book. And it's called China's Second Continent. It's called China's Second Continent. I forget the name of the author, and it talks about how the Chinese, they sort of have this master plan anyway, and they're infiltrating all of the countries in Africa and doing one thing or the other, even from a business standpoint. Even their government sort of promoted it, and this journey didn't just start in the last 5 years. You're probably, if you go back maybe 20-25 years, they had this grand plan. I mean, China has a world power, a world dominating as a superpower. It wants to dominate the world as a superpower. So it has a big agenda. But at the same time, it's also farming out a lot of its people to go out there into the world and position themselves strategically, so that they're in a position to really take over. And it's no different to what the Europeans did. You know, the Europeans traveled all over the world, positioned their people in
Yeah.
certain places, and they were able to maneuver. So the Chinese are
Mm-hmm.
doing it. But when you told that story about being in Delta, somewhere deep down, 3 hours away from the airport, and you're seeing Chinese people there. I always find it interesting that why is it that other races are able or happy to go and become uncomfortable in another country, right,
Yeah.
to generate wealth, but the people who are actually indigents of that country or continent start acting like they're too nice. Like, man, you gotta get uncomfortable to become comfortable, right?
Yeah.
And we're always so I always I'm always inspired when I see other races going
Mm-hmm.
there getting dirty. You see Indian people, and you know we all get gassed, yeah, when like you see let's say I've seen maybe a couple of Facebook or YouTube videos where maybe an Indian person knows how to speak Yoruba, right,
Yeah.
or he's speaking pidgin English, and we all
Mm-hmm.
get gassed over it. I'm like, what did you expect? And then they use that as a weapon to
Yeah.
even get much more closer and generate businesses. Do you know what I mean?
Of
Because,
course.
but
Yeah.
yeah, there's
So
there's
if I
there's
if I ask you now, you see most of your investments now, you do some connecting to Africa. Are you
yeah.
that hands-on on each project that you carry on, or how do you monitor
Nah,
them?
I'm over in the UK, so
Okay.
the way we look at it is this. I don't buy into the narrative that a lot of people get scared when it comes to investing in Africa, or because they have trust issues, conditioning issues, people being programmed to think a certain way, or the media exposes certain things and clouds your judgment. I always personally believe I always go by myself, right? If I'm an honest, transparent individual, then I believe there's loads of other people out there like that. So just
Mm-hmm.
because there's a few bad apples, and you got a few bad apples all over the world, okay? So I generally find people that I can work with. So if an opportunity comes on my radar, either an entrepreneur in Africa somewhere reaches out to me and says, I've got this idea, I've got this opportunity, I just go by body language, what the numbers are saying to me, what the business model is saying itself. Does it make sense? Do my own personal due diligence, and I'll put money to work. And that's it. Everything when you're talking about investments, you got to be able to take investment risk. So, but I don't personally. Sometimes some businesses I might be hands on, but if I'm in the UK and there's an opportunity out in Africa, I have to go by my judgment based on who is presenting the opportunity to me. What bit of information can I gather on the individual? What information can I gather on the business opportunity itself? Does the business actually have? Does it have legs? Does it make sense? Will it make money? If will it make money for people, for investors, if they were to get involved? So I try to do as much due diligence as I can do, and I also expect that people who one is introducing the opportunity to also might come with a little bit of experience, some expertise, or be able to ask the right questions so that we can all make an informed decision, either individually or as a collective. So
Wow.
generally speaking, some will be hands on and some won't be. But
Okay.
actually, and to be quite honest, most won't be because there's only 24 hours and there's only so many things I can do at one time. So it will more
Okay.
be just putting money to work to generate that residual income.
So from your experience now, for those who want to invest in Africa, what sector do you think they should be looking into? Because I've heard you mention
Oh
agriculture,
boy.
which I'm a fan of. So
Oh, sorry, I didn't catch that. You've heard?
I heard you mention agriculture, which I am a fan
Yes.
of as well.
Oh,
So
of course, of course.
yeah.
Man, man must to eat. I think that's how they say it. Man must to
Yes.
eat, and
Mm-hmm.
and also the woman them too must to eat.
Mm-hmm.
So you cannot go wrong with agriculture. It's. I mean, we're scratching the surface. Minus probably South Africa and maybe a few countries out there that practice industrial scaled farming.
Mm-hmm.
Agriculture in Africa is wide open for the taking. I, there's so many sectors that you can look at in Africa that you can go in. Agriculture is big. I mean, it's on one of my number one things that I would love to do a little bit more investing in. I'm working with say two people in Nigeria at the moment. One in the area of vegetables. Actually, what I'm talking about, three. I suppose you call livestock farming is also part of agriculture. So that's another business we've started. Agriculture is big. Wherever country you're looking at in Africa, it's big. Everybody needs to eat. There's a lot of importation of food from, say, the West,
Mm-hmm.
even from China. I mean, I know in Nigeria, somebody was telling me about frozen chicken, I think it was. It was much more cheaper
Yeah.
to produce it over in China, import it into the country, and sell rather than actually raise the birds in in the country and sell. So which is surreal. Agriculture is big. Manufacturing. I mean, every space you mentioned, transportation, tech, it's almost wide open. I say, like we were saying, the topic for today is the next set of billionaires in Africa are going to come out of Africa, right? And I'm actually beginning to feel. Sorry, go on.
I said you just walked into that one because I was going to say the next set of billionaires. See, in the next say, what the smartest way to become a billionaire in Africa? The next set, the smartest way in say 5-10 years time.
Well, smartest way. Well, the first thing is you got to take that first step and start to do something. Find something, find an opportunity, and put money to work. There's going to be risk. Not every opportunity is going to work. Just like on Dragon's Den, when you watch their playbacks, they'll tell you some things that they thought were going to work ain't going to work. But you can't be scared. You cannot be scared to invest. And when we're talking about the next set of billionaires are only just beginning to mobilize in Africa, I'm even beginning to think you might even have trillionaires. Because if I look at it as a Nigerian, right? I'm not just looking to make money from Nigeria. There's big things going on in Ghana, right? Kenya, Rwanda, Gambia. So, and you're not talking you got to start with big money. No, there's opportunities that you can get in with maybe $500 or £500, £1,000. Obviously, there's bigger scaled investments, but you got to crawl before you walk, and you got to walk before you start running, so to speak. So you've got to just start and find people who have opportunities. There's a few organizations out there within the UK that are actually beginning to mobilize in terms of bringing opportunities to diasporians and to the general public. But I think for people who are a little bit more liquid and you're thinking towards the future and creating that wealth or that intergenerational wealth, I think Africa holds big, humongous rewards. But you got to start taking those chances, looking for people who have some kind of footprint in these countries who can bring you opportunities, whether you talk to someone directly in those countries or you have someone who's like a go-between who can bring you opportunities, just like what I'm doing with Power Smart Money. You can bring you opportunities, and even what you're doing here, you're going to be interviewing people who have footprints in these different African countries, where it can open up people's sort of horizons to, oh, well, I could do that, right? Okay, this agriculture, I could probably look at this guy. If I'm looking towards tech, maybe this guy's got something. But yeah, you got to start getting involved at some level, be it small money, but small money, smart money. It doesn't really make it, but you got to take that step.
And it all compounds, whether it's small money, whether it's smart, whether it's huge money, it compounds over time.
It all does. It all does.
Over time. And I like that. Trillionaires can even come out from this. So I really like that. Yeah.
It's I mean, it's crazy. It's crazy when you think about what, I mean, I get frustrated that a lot of us in the diaspora, whether you're African Caribbean, African direct, or, well, I mean, we're all Africans anyway if you're black, but, and you even have to say white and Asian Africans. But the thing is, I get really frustrated with people of my hue that I just feel we're still sleeping. I mean, even in the UK, we're sleeping. How much more looking at Africa? There's things we should be aggressively doing in the UK to have a little bit more of a financial economic powerhouse. I always go by there's a guy called Dr. Claude Anderson who talks about the 5 levels of Powernomics. You deal with the business and economics level first, which is the ground level. You got to build that foundation. It's got to be strong. We're talking business, because once you have finances, it allows you to pivot off and do other things like politics. Politics is the second level. Then after the political level, you go into the courts and the judicial system in terms of executing on some of the actions or some of the laws that the politicians have created, because you had that foundation in the beginning. Then you go up to the third level, which is I believe it's the media. You got to be able to control the narrative. Like there's a bad narrative that we've been fed over the last 20, 25, 30 years.
Absolutely.
And we've not really had any control. Thank God for social media. We are now able to see certain things which the powers that be didn't want us to see. And we're now waking up a little bit more. And then you have that fifth level, which is education. Obviously, but they sold us a lot of BS, where they said, oh, everybody go and get educated and then come and beg us for a job. What we should have been focusing on was that business, that foundation, which is the economic side, building businesses, so that when we have people who've had an education, whether you're a chemical engineer, an engineer, a lawyer, blah, blah, we can then employ them. Do you know what I mean? So that's why I kind of focus on the business side of things and introducing that to people through PSM and any platform that is available.
That is great. And when you made mention of that, you'll be speaking at the Move Back Summit coming up
Wow,
next month.
fantastic! Of course.
Yeah.
That's
So
awesome. No, big up to you for bringing. Big up to you for bringing that. You know what I mean? That
yeah,
one's going to be an exciting
because
event.
because it's time for us to start mobilizing ourselves, giving ourselves relevant information, and because we have experts in pockets, bringing those experts together in one platform, who is going to be like talking about who are diasporans, who moved back, who are currently doing great stuff in Africa. So we'll be bringing those group of people together, and they'll be like you as an expert in connecting investors to people on ground, or products on ground, or like companies on ground. Your wealth of wisdom will be very, very valuable to people who are just still sitting on the fence. And
Yeah.
I believe it's gonna be great. I really believe in on this summit that you guys are gonna be smashing it, because your experience is gonna be wow.
Yeah, I agree with you, because like you said, you're going to have people who are going to be talking on the day, people who are actually in Africa right now doing things and bounce between this country and that country, or whether it's maybe the US, Canada, and African countries, who have on ground experience, and are mobilizing. And of course myself, we're doing a few things in Nigeria. Like we just started what do we call it, a fresh food delivery business. So we supply people cows, rams, goats, by the kilo, or they're buying it in whole. So we have some experience. We've been exposed to the challenges, obstacles, and it's almost like with the platform that you have going with regards to the summit, and people who are actually thinking to go back home, or move back at some point in time. There's things that they need to be aware of, and without having to repeat myself on that event, but more time you start thinking about, like I know for myself, I want to go back. Like I don't really see myself being in this country for too long. Yes, I'll come back over holidays, or come back see people, come back on business trips. But I think in terms of leaving a legacy, for me, I'm better off being there. Just like how Akon is, you see Akon come over to back to the States or back to Europe, but he's doing amazing things in his country. I think it's Senegal. I think it's Senegal.
Yeah, Senegal.
He's doing amazing things across. He's trying to do big things. He's trying to encourage people. We got to go back, because Africa. I mean, I think you believe Africa is technically the richest continent out there, right?
Yes.
But we've been bamboozled to think that we are a poor continent. I mean, all the resources they take out of that country, and the Chinese do that, the Europeans do that. There's so much there. So people who are looking to go back, I definitely co-sign it. But at the same time, when you're going to go back, you can't just pack your bag and jump on a plane and go out there. You got to be able to plan for it. And one thing you got to understand is, as much as the pound has a lot of value, or the intrinsic value of the pound relative, say, to the naira or any of those African currencies, that money can easily and quickly dwindle away. So you have to have some kind of strategy around income. Even if you wanted to pack your bags, if you started investing in opportunities now, say back out there, and
all these Taj is what I need you for on this summit, because you've been there, you've done that, and you're still doing it. Yeah. So people want to diasporans want to hear these great opportunities that you have, that you can present to them, so they can actually take advantage, make more informed decisions, instead of the narrative, as you rightly said, of this is going on there, don't go there, don't go there. Because if you mention moving back to Africa to someone, they'll start shaking physically and be like, come on. But whereas you can live in America, or live in the UK, or somewhere in Europe or Eastern Europe, and you'll be facing some dehumanizing stuff. But whereas when they say go back or move back to Africa with the knowledge and the skill that you've got right now, you'll be shaking. So when people like you start talking, it kind of calms people down. Okay, yeah, we can actually put, I don't need $50,000 or £50,000 to start investing. With $500, I can start now and start building myself gradually until I get to where I want to go. So on the last note, what opportunities and what opportunities do you currently have that people can start keying into right now?
So I've got quite a few opportunities going on. if it's from a UK standpoint, I've got what you call PSM Markets, and I'm sure you're going to probably put up the website so people can probably visit the deal makers then. We have some opportunities in deal makers then. Some are pending. We're still in due diligence mode. The ones that are live, like we've been running like a wood logging business for the last 4.5 years now. Private, we have some private people involved. Bet it's been doing really well with returns anywhere between 10% and 15% over the last 4.5 years. So that's been working really well. We have PSM Markets that's almost new. It's been going on for about a year. We're going on to about a year and a half. That's to do with the financial markets somewhat. We have KariKara, which is that's another new initiative that ties into the food delivery business. We've almost packaged the product, ready for the people. What else do we have? Yeah, there's a few things. I suppose the best thing would be for people to go onto the deal makers then via Power Smart Money. And just check out.
So what's the name of your website just before then?
So it's powersmartmoney.com. So POWEROFSMART. So powerofsmartmoney.com.
Okay.
And if you can't see, I think you can see it over there. But yeah, powersmartmoney.com. Cool. Yeah.
So, and if they want to reach you personally, how can they reach you? Are you on the?
Well, if anybody wants to reach out to me, oh geez, I always worry whether to give out my contact number or to give out an email. I suppose we'll start. If people are serious about reaching out, I suppose they can either hit me up on Insta. If you go on Insta, type in Billionaire Taj, I'm sure it will come up with my lovely face.
That is the name.
Or you know what I mean? Or you can send an email to PSM Deals. That's P for Papa, S for Sierra, M for Mother. PSM Deals, DEALS, as in deals. PSMdeals@gmail.com.
That's cool. So I just want to say thank you very much, Taj, for taking your time out to just to jump on this call, and I'm really grateful. So we would our next conversation is on the summit. So
it's going to be on the summit. I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Get all your guns ready. Get all your deals ready.
I'm gonna come much more prepared, much more ready. I know this one's a little bit more impromptu, but yeah, we'll come with the firepower. People would have loads of questions, but I'm always willing to share my little bit of knowledge that I have, and I'm a learner just like you are as well. So definitely. We're always learning.
We're always learning.
Yeah,
we're always learning.
So looking forward to it. But I really appreciate the invite. And looking forward to some more stuff.
No worries, Taj.
As well. Okay.
So speak soon.
Fantastical.
Okay,
my man.
Bye.
All right, see you later. All right, cheers. All right.
So thank you very much for being part of the show. We really appreciate you here. Listen, we all have ideas and visions of how we see our lives, our enterprise. But without strategic moves, it will remain a pipe dream. As an accountability coach and your success partner, I help and support my clients to build their dream business or their dream lifestyle and make it a reality. So talk to me today, no matter how crazy your business vision is or how crazy your ideas are. We can build structure to make it a reality. So send me an email or click the link below to talk about your ideas now. It is your dream. It came to you for a reason. So be responsible, because the world is waiting for you to act. Thank you. Until next time, this is Victor Osio. Be great.